Good morning. Welcome to Conversations with Cindy. My guest today is Forrest Tuff. I'm so excited, Forrest, that you had time for us. I know you've been so busy and you have such a wonderful background. It's exciting to have you here today.
Thank you. It's great to be here, Cindy.
Well, let me go ahead and introduce you. Forrest is the founder of this and CEO of One Vision Productions, an award-winning multimedia production company that has been recognized as one of Atlanta's best and brightest companies to work for. In other words, he's a film producer. In 2021, he was named among Atlanta's magazine 500 most powerful business leaders. Forrest, that is so impressive.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
He's an accomplished author and producer, and he was nominated as the 46th Georgia Author of the Year Award and the host of the Tough Talk show. He is known as a filmpreneur, which is my favorite word. Did you design that?
Yes, I just recently received my trademark on it.
Oh, that's awesome. So does
Yeah,
that mean other people will come out with that word and follow you in the trend? Are they allowed to?
they're not allowed to. I own it. It's like McDonald's. I own the word and the mark.
Oh, that is
Yeah,
awesome. I'm going to come up with a word that I could do that. That's
right. That we
awesome.
can know.
Forrest has over 200 movie credits where he has done indie films, major motion picture with 20th Century Fox. He's a sought after speaker and he's a certified business and master life coach. He's a distinguished Toastmaster, which, as most of you know, I'm part of Toastmasters, and that's a lot of speeches. It's over 70 speeches, a lot of community work, which he is not a stranger to. He's also has been nominated as an accredited speaker finalist within Toastmasters and a member of the National Speakers Association, and voted among the top 100 transformational leaders by the John Maxwell team. I've always wanted to do John Maxwell. I
Yeah,
just haven't had a chance to be part of his team, but I certainly know all of his trainings. That's very
yeah.
impressive.
Thank
And
you.
actually, I didn't say the most impressive part yet, and I know that you're very humble, and I hope I don't embarrass you when I say this, but I want the world to know who you are. He is an advocate for servant leadership. He created a grant annually awarded to a nonprofit. He is an ambassador for the American Heart Association, United Way, VIP alumnus, and 3DE by Junior Achievement Schools of Business Coach. Forrest is a recipient of the Martin Luther King Drum Major for Service Award and I would do the drums if I had them. President's Call to Service Award for completing 4,000 hours of community service. That is just unbelievable. I want to know, Forrest, first of all, what drives you?
I think younger, I was an athlete. And so I think there was always this need to continue to get better and do more. And I think as I became an entrepreneur, that same drive is here. But now I'm motivated by my family and my kids because I want to leave a legacy. I want them to see that, if you can go after different things, you can accomplish it and you can do something bigger than yourself. And that's why helping the community and being a part of the community is really big for me.
That's awesome. Do you bring your kids into the film producing? Do you have them involved in it?
Yes, they've actually worked on sets with me. I've had them even acting. We actually did a little short film contest together, and it was called Little Sister. So I had all three of my daughters play roles in this film, but I've had them involved just so they can see what it's like and be a part of it, to make their own decisions as they get older, though.
Oh, that's awesome. And that was my next question to you. Do you act as well?
I have acted before. Yes, I have done some in front of the screen. I find myself leaning more to behind the scenes, more in the producer director role. But there have been some times I've suited up and got in the scene and became Denzel Washington.
Ah, that's awesome. He's one of my favorite. I heard a new movie's coming out this weekend
Yeah, he's
on
amazing.
HBO Max.
Yeah, he's amazing. But I'm nowhere even close to Denzel. But I have acted when it was absolutely necessary before.
Oh, that's great. I think I act most of my life. That's funny.
That's right.
When did you realize, Forrest, that you had a passion for being an entrepreneur? And then also, you're a great storyteller and you always tell wonderful stories. When did you realize that?
Growing up, I think I have artistic people in my family. And, growing up at 5 kids, brothers and sisters, you have a tendency to learn how to maneuver when it comes to the parents. So I think the storytelling came from, blaming my brothers and sisters for stuff growing up. And so, now just being in that creative space, I find myself just loving the imagination. For me, that imagination and being able to see people affected by it or they have some type of response. I think I enjoy that, whether it's funny, whether it's a serious story, or whether it's something that makes an impact. So for me, that's the drive, but I think it came from just being in a family of creative people.
So as you're saying that, I'm imagining you as a little boy with a microphone in your hand or something like a microphone, and your family lined up there, 5 brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
Are they
So
all
I was
girls?
the second. I had an older brother. I had two twins after me and a younger daughter. So in that second mode, that second child syndrome, you're always trying to find your space, right? And so as a second child, I would find my space in different areas. And sometimes it wasn't always good. I would find myself getting the attention for being a bad little boy. But it was just funny. As you get older, you realize the things that motivated you to do certain things. So it was just in the hierarchy of my family where my personality developed. And that's something that still stays with me today as an adult.
Oh, that's great. And now you have your own kids that'll be teaching you the same thing by doing what you did. So you'll have
Yes,
payback
and
for
they
that.
are very creative. I have two in college and I have a 7-year old, and they keep me going.
Wow.
They crack jokes, they have fun, and it's interesting when you see different parts of yourself and your children. It's always funny. But yeah, they keep me young and keep me going.
Oh, that is awesome. What's the motivation that makes you want to give back to the different businesses? Because you give an awful lot. The company I work with, Accountants One, happens to be part of Junior Achievement. My
Right.
president and CEO is a board member, Dan Erling. And so I know Junior Achievement is huge, but you don't just do Junior Achievement, that's for the kids, but you have so many different areas that you're involved in. So, one, you know, why? And then how do you get the time to do everything you do?
Well, I would say the motivation came from my parents. I grew up a PK, and that's a preacher's kid. And, I did a lot of missions work and giving back to the community just with the church and with my parents. So I saw that growing up. So that became a part of life. And, sometimes people don't realize that actually when you're a pastor or founder of a church, you're a business owner. You're just in a different industry. So as I went into entrepreneurship, I realized that I had the background and the understanding of the important and also the importance of giving back. So whether that's with kids or whether that's to those that are less fortunate or just nonprofit organizations that are trying to make an impact in the community, I find myself leaning to initiatives that number one resonate with what I believe in and also things that, my company can help. So that's kind of where it came from. And being able to manage that is really just learning how to make sure I manage people so that I'm able to free up myself to do other things. I have to make sure I trust people and the ones that I have with me, staff, and just make sure that, they can get the job done as well so that I can venture out into other things also.
That's awesome. What is the most difficult challenge that you have faced as a business owner?
Staying relevant. Times change, you get older, there's always new businesses, there's always competition, but you just have to find what it is you're good at and stick with it. So for me, especially in this media space, this industry constantly evolves, it constantly changes. And so relevance and making sure that our work is top of the line, customer service is top of the line. Those are the things that we try to focus on, and those can be difficult sometimes, but teaching that culture to everyone that works with you, that's really that challenge to make sure that everyone understands the culture and that as you move forward, everybody's on board and they're all working towards the same goals.
I actually think that you should go out there and be a public spokesman for my candidates and my clients out there because it is all about culture, it's about relationships. And I just want to hang out with you all day because you have that personality. So I just want to hang out. Now I know a secret about you. It's not really a secret, but it's a
Uh-oh.
secret to me. Um, I understand that you fly drones and it takes a lot to fly drones. I have a drone actually that just flew by just now from my
Yeah.
neighbor. Tell me about that.
Well, when I got into filmmaking roughly around 7 years ago, I wanted to have a look that looked Hollywood, and of course we're independent, so we don't have these $1 million budgets, but I wanted to do some things that could make our films and projects look great. And so when the drones came, that was a godsend. So for me, I wanted to be able to use it not only for productions and film, but also if we work with any corporations or government entities. And so I decided to become a licensed drone pilot because that was the only way that I could use it and be paid. I didn't want to just do it as a hobby, but I wanted to incorporate that into my business. So for me, since I had no prior use into it, I decided to learn, get certified as a drone pilot, and now I'm able to use these productions and even manage other drone pilots when we need them for different sets.
That is really awesome. I'm sitting here thinking, gosh, I could barely drive my car, especially since I haven't really driven much since March. And speaking of COVID, how has that affected you?
Well, it affected us initially, like everyone else. We had no idea what to do. I think for me, I had to number one, really accept what was happening because everyone was looking to me. They're going to take their keys from me. How do I move? And so, first I took some time off, took a month and just, hey, just sit back and assess it, let everybody deal with the loss. And then I started to find avenues that people needed. I started to assess what our company did and what are some things that we can do that are still going to be a necessity. And so after I figured that out, sat down with my team, we discussed the direction we want to go in. And I also embraced this virtual platform because there's so many things and a broader reach that you can have that you didn't when we weren't using virtual as much. So it was an adjustment, but I had to accept that reality and move forward.
Which is true, I think, for all of us. It's been difficult. We thought we'd all be back now
Yeah.
to our different spaces, and what we thought we couldn't do, we can do. So I think
Right.
it could have been, in one sense, it has been a good shift. Of course, it's affected a lot of people, and we'd like everybody to be able to come back from this strong and healthier than we were before.
That's
And
right.
my last question for you today, Forrest, is what is the one message that you would like us to have?
Believe in yourself, go after what you want and don't let people deter you from your dreams. You have to realize that it's not going to be easy in some cases, but it's worth having. If you believe in something, make sure you take the time to network with the right people, get the proper education, and keep going. So I would say if you have any dreams, anything you want to do, whether it's now at COVID-19 with this pandemic happening, just pursue it. Find out the steps you need to do and just pursue it. And it's okay if you fail. That's just a lesson to learn how to continue to grow. So just continue to go after your dreams.
That is awesome. I always think about how many times have we all been reinvented from what we originally thought we were going to do in life to what we're actually doing. It's
That's
just
right.
amazing. Well, Forrest, thank you so much for being a guest today. I know people would like to contact you. How can they contact you?
Well, I would say the easiest place is just to go to my website. It's forresttuff.com. And that's two R's, two T's, and two F's. forresttuff.com. And you can find all my social media platforms and links to my businesses.
That's excellent. And as always, to the audience, thank you for joining us at Conversations with Cindy. And next Sunday, we will be doing another release, and it's a surprise. And we just hope that our conversations will bring you a brighter tomorrow. Thank you so much. Have a great day.